Hey, welcome to.
Welcome to SQL Server.
We were getting ready to go. Hey, my name is Grant Fritchie.
I'm Steve Jones.
And we work for Redgate Software, and we're very excited to be here at, my gosh, 20 years.
20 years, huh?
Yeah, 20 years. That's amazing.
You think back 20 years?
No, I'm too old to think back 20 years.
It's funny that they got two of the oldest guys to come do this part, right? To retrospect
gray hair, 20 years.
So 1999, right? Redgate started 20 years ago. Where were you in 1999? What were you doing?
I was working for my second startup.
Second startup in New York? Where?
No, Massachusetts. I moved. Yeah, we had kids by then. My kids were a year old.
So you were in Massachusetts by then, and I had just moved to Colorado. I actually moved in early 1999 and started working out there, and then spent a year prepping for Y2K, which
yeah.
A lot of prep and not a lot of else, right?
I got to tell you, that was the nice thing about working for startups. We were kind of like going, we don't care. You know what I mean? Because it was just nothing but startups from 1997 to 2001. And we just didn't have a care in the world.
Were you a SQL Server guy back then?
Yeah, SQL Server right then.
Let me guess, 6.5, was that?
Yeah, 6.5, 7.0, yeah, God.
I was 6.5 trying to get off of that when we went to this company because we were overloaded, and Windows 95 and NT4. It was quite a time. We've come so far.
Oh no, I mean
20 years.
I got it, and then I was a developer.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of both at that point in time, and so it was a whole different world then.
Oh
so
yeah.
Some of the things we remember back from then, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, my 1999, pretty much every year is I like movies.
Yeah.
And 1999 had some cool movies, right? 13th Warrior is one of my favorites. I love that film. I watch it all the time, you know?
Never seen it.
God. This is no day to be close to land, boy. This is a fantastic movie. Galaxy Quest.
Now, I don't remember seeing this in the theater, but I know I've watched. I mean, I own the DVD because I've watched it with all my kids.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
All my kids love this movie, and I did see it in the theaters. I saw 13th Warrior in the theaters too. And then the only thing that even looked like a superhero movie in 1999 was The Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant, yeah. And my kids loved that. That was a neat movie. Now, you left off The Matrix, right? That was 1999.
That was 1999. Then they made more, and so I try not to think about it.
Yeah, I actually remember going to Denver, and I was there by myself. My wife and kids were back in Virginia, and I went in a snowstorm to watch that movie on like a Friday night. It was only had nothing to do.
Funny enough, 1999, The Matrix was the first time my wife and I went out.
Oh wow!
After the kids were born, because we had twins, and so we were pretty busy.
Yeah.
Now, 20 years on, they've got movies this year too.
Right, with lots of movies.
Yeah, lots of movies. I mean, and a lot of variety too. I mean, we had the Avengers.
Right, of course. Right.
Brightburn.
Never saw that.
Yeah,
never heard of that actually.
That's great. It's a great movie.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Didn't see that.
I'm planning to watch it on the flight home.
Yeah. What else do we have?
The X-Men.
X-Men, yeah. I saw that on the flight over actually.
Oh yeah, I was planning to watch that on the flight home too. I got 7 hours to kill.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Movie.
And like I said, there was a lot of variety this year.
And Spider-Man. So do you know this
Spider-Man's coming up?
Our third modern Spider-Man actor.
Yeah.
In series. The first one was 2002.
Yeah.
So we've been through 3 versions of Spider-Man in 20 years, which is kind of incredible.
Well, it took 3 times to get it right because this kid's awesome.
This kid is awesome.
So
what else has changed?
Well, I mean, a lot's gone on.
So Grant had this. It's funny. He picked this slide. I brought this in. This is the original Google G1 phone that they released in 2007 with the keyboard, and I bought this back then. And now, right, we've changed, right? So I've got, the big phone now, this isn't even that big, but it's changed a lot. And we have all these, smart devices now.
Yeah, nonstop. I mean, it's in 20 years, the technology is amazing. We got our first phone in '98, right before the kids were born. We went and finally bought a phone, and it looked more or less like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty scary. It had a little antenna that came out. And
I think this had Wi-Fi, but just barely. Barely.
It's night and day. I mean, the technology shift over 20 years is really kind of hard to fathom. I mean, frankly, I did a lot of research getting ready for this because we're supposed to talk about 20 years. 20 years of Redgate, but 20 years of technology really. and the technology trends in 1999 were really interesting. I
Yeah.
got a kick out of it, because the Hewlett Packard, who, and Computer Associates, who, were one of the two big things. The internet may allow for the outsourcing of services. Did you know that?
Exactly, yes.
In 1999, we were talking
Potentially.
about we might be able to outsource services with the internet. And then finally, at long last,
Right.
IT managers are going to be focused on the business instead
Right.
of putting out fires.
Of course.
And that was the promise of 1999. And so here we are 20 years later, and the current technology trends. I mean, how can you define analytics? My God.
Right, analytics are everywhere, right? It's machine learning and analysis and trying to somehow pull out information out of data is, I think, a bigger and bigger part of our careers all the time, right?
Oh yeah, I mean,
constantly.
I think it's the
an
biggest
issue.
thing about having been in it for the 20 years is just how much more important data has become.
Yeah.
It's just growing and growing. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of incredible because I think in 1999 we probably still printed a lot. We probably still printed on green bar paper.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no
Do you remember
kidding. Yeah,
green
yeah.
bar?
Oh, I do remember green bar paper.
Where we had to alternate lines, and for years, I know I built reports that had to mimic that.
Yeah,
where we
yeah, yeah.
shaded lines.
Oh yeah.
And that seems to have gone away. We don't see that so much anymore now.
True.
We do a lot of visualizations, a lot of graphics, a lot of things, but we don't. We've gotten away from some of those things that we used to do there.
Yeah, like pie chart. Oh no, I still do pie charts. I get in trouble for that.
Pie charts should have one color and one line only.
And containers. I mean, that's huge, right? I mean,
Yeah.
containers is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, 1999 virtualization was just a glimpse,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't really
Nobody
a thing.
was talking about it.
We actually had early versions of VMware that we used in QA because we could
Really?
reset environments back then.
Wow. No. I wasn't
And it was really
considering.
that you copy the image back over and just start the image again.
Yeah, I don't think we got them until 03, 04. It started coming in, and this will never work.
Yeah, we had free VMware and Virtual PC was around back then.
Yeah. Oh,
But
wow.
but we never thought of it for servers, and I think through most of the early 2000s, maybe even through 2010, we argued about SQL Server on
virtual machines.
right?
I know.
It's been a huge.
And now it's like, who's not running on a virtual machine?
Yeah, very
kinda
few
weird.
people.
And Kubernetes.
Some of us.
I
are.
said it. You all have to drink now.
And of course, DevOps helps IT managers.
And
now,
DevOps,
right? Doesn't it?
DevOps, the IT managers are last able to focus on the business instead of putting out fires.
Yeah. So
Sure.
I think we have
go with
less
that.
fires, but maybe they're not. They haven't gone away for sure.
No, and also I think that DevOps is actually, I put this in as a joke, guys, but DevOps is not a joke. I think it really is changing things. I mean, for me, it started changing things, about 12 years ago. We didn't know it was called DevOps then, but just the idea of automating all your deployments and automating all your testing and having your stuff just kind of roll out to production without, having to eyeball the script every time.
Right, and we see that here, right? More and
yeah.
more of our customers are embracing the idea of letting some automation help us out and get things done faster, and certainly attempt to focus more on the business needs than just
Right.
technology.
But if you really want to talk tech, I mean, we are a SQL Server focused organization, although we support all the others, more and more. Yay! But God, SQL Server 7. That was amazing when that came out.
So did you ever run back office server? Have you ever run that?
Yeah, I did. I did run back office server. I'm sorry to say. I hate to admit it, but yeah, I did.
Yeah, I installed it for a client back then, and I was not happy with the performance of all those things running on one machine.
No. Although, I mean, when I came through, I started in SQL Server 4.2, and that's where I started. I didn't really do any work in 4.2, but we installed it and we started messing with it, and then 6.0 came out, I think, the next week. So I really started doing work in SQL Server 6, and then and then 6.5, and the weekly reboot, whether you wanted to or not. 7.0 was a revelation. I mean, it just was. The query optimizer, it's self-tuning. Did you guys know that? Yeah.
Still self-tuning. Right?
That's a joke, right? Because that was the marketing scheme for 7.0.
Right,
was was completely a self-tuning database server.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never ran this in production.
Really?
Yeah, so I worked at a company that we ran we went from 4.2 to 6.0, and 6.0, I think, it came and went before we actually deployed a new server, so we ended up with 6.5. And we installed 7.0 as a prototype. And as actually I was leaving Virginia, we were prototyping the OLAP server right then, because we were trying to show cubes and how quickly we could look at things like sales month over month in a way we couldn't do before, right?
Right, sure.
6.5 was very difficult for that kind of thing. So we never ran it. And when I got out to Colorado, the company I worked at was running 6.5, and we were testing 7.0, and then 2000 came out, right? Within, it was like a year, right? And so we abandoned all of our 7 work and just went straight to 2000.
Yeah, we were on this hard. I mean, the startup I was at, we were Dash.com. Go look it up. It's gone.
But probably back again now.
Who knows? Yeah. But we were collecting about 3 gigs of data a day, and Microsoft knew us because we were one of the bigger databases at the time. And you think 3 gigs of data a day? I mean, I think my kids move more than 3 gigs of data in videos every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily more than 3 gigs.
But 3 gigs at then was a huge amount of data.
It was a ton of work. I mean, and that was we set up replication for the first time. We had DTS, Data Transformation Services.
Yeah.
Andy Leonard's out there dying because I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Yeah, we've come a long way. So now we're at 2019, right? So now we're
we're going to talk about 2019?
5, 8, R2, 12, 14, 16, 17. So we're 9 versions later.
Not counting Azure.
Not 10, so you could say 10 versions, right? We could argue 10 versions in 20 years, so that's once every 2 years, which is phenomenal.
Wow.
Right, that's kind of a phenomenal pace.
It is. And the shift is just incredible. I mean, availability groups has been added in. What else?
So we kind of, DTS came and went, and SSIS has come and is still in use, but they're really pushing the Azure Data Factory now as a way to run our DTS or run our SSIS instead of doing it on premises, which is an interesting model for sure. The HA stuff is incredible, right? So we've come a long way from backup and restore and remember which file group was laid on which disk and what size kind of thing. Now it's incredible. I mean, I have more and more people that are, as clients, doing automatic seeding, so they're not even backing up and restoring on other servers. They're just turning on a new server on, joining a group and saying, please send my data.
Oh, wow.
Right? Which is kind of incredible,
cool.
right?
Yeah,
it's kind of an amazing thing that's happened. The replication, I don't think has changed since 7.
No, I was going to say the replication's almost exactly the same.
Which is sad. Microsoft, please
really
do
sad.
something with replication.
Give it some love, guys.
Because it's amazing. What else we got? So analytics has been a big part of our job, right? So we've certainly seen changes in the language, right? T-SQL supported. We've got windowing functions. We have predict in T-SQL.
Oh yeah.
We've got other languages now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the whole R, Python.
Right. That's kind of incredible.
God, I mean, just all the stuff. I mean, and Linux.
Yeah.
SQL Server runs on Linux. 1999. Was Linux a thing in 1999? I think it just was. Yeah, barely. But still, you've told me in 1999, we'll be running this on Linux. I'd be like, no, you're lying. I would actually use bad words at that point.
Exactly. But we've also gotten things, so, Microsoft brought Proclarity, right, and that has evolved into Power Pivot, and then we've gotten this Power BI thing, which is huge.
Right.
I'm amazed every week we do Database Weekly how many people are writing about Power BI and how popular it is.
Right.
It's kind of incredible.
And if you go to a SQL Saturday event or anything else like that, Power BI is like always one of the topics. If not 3 or 4 or 5 or the focus of it. I mean, it's just been a nonstop path. I mean, it's amazing.
It is. And maybe the biggest thing for me, I think, is Azure, right? Because we didn't have the cloud, we didn't have virtualization. I think I went to a company that was starting to be one of these application service providers. You remember those? Where they would host your website in 2000 or 2001. And now we have companies that think about never purchasing anything, right? I mean, laptops for your developers and nothing else.
Redgate Software, the year before I joined, Simon said he would never buy another server. I don't think he has.
Are we allowed to buy servers? Because Simon said that? We are, okay.
Oh, we are allowed to buy servers now?
All right, so you guys.
Oh, okay.
But we used to have this.
That was a cool story, was to be able to tell that we weren't going to buy servers.
So when you started there, we still had the computers.
Yeah.
Upstairs,
There
right?
was all those computers.
So we used to
upstairs.
have a room stuffed with computers, old desktops that ran all of our testnet and development.
With all the blinky lights, like
and now
science fiction.
It's where I go when I forget my power adapter or my mouse. Nick usually finds me spare parts all the time. I think every trip I need a spare part of some sort. And so now it's an Amazon.com warehouse, I think, is where we're subletting it out, basically, which is incredible. And we've even lost the servers in the cafeteria, right?
They're shaking their heads.
Okay.
No, there's still a rack there.
Right. Okay. I didn't see any blinky lights, so I was thinking they're...
Without the blinky lights, how are we supposed to know anything's on?
Exactly. That was how the whole world has changed. So, sorry, other stuff has changed as well. So,
sure.
So you're the president of PASS.
I am the president of PASS.
So Grant is the current president of PASS for another number of days, really.
Yay.
He's going to exit out then. Somebody else will
Somebody
come.
important with skills is going to take over.
But I found this on archive.org. So this is the original PASS website. I think this is from 2000.
Yeah.
I actually went to the first PASS summit in 1999. It was in Chicago in the basement of this hotel right there on the river.
In the basement.
Yeah. And I remember I met Kaylin Delaney for the first time and I was amazed because I had her book.
Yeah,
and so I was just thrilled to go up and see her after she spoke and talk to her for a few minutes. And it was incredible because it was less than 200 people, I think, this tiny little conference in there.
Yeah.
Most people hadn't even heard of. And from there, it just has grown so dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
Right? In 20 years, where we are at PASS is dramatic. Maybe the biggest thing, right? We changed the name and changed the logo.
Sure, yeah.
But now, what's new with PASS, right? So you're the president. Like you think about in the time you've been a member of PASS and on the board.
Yeah, the time I've been a member, let alone on the board. I started off just, as an attendee.
Right.
I went to Grapevine, Texas in 2005 was my first
At
one.
the Gaylord?
Yeah.
At the Gaylord,
yeah, and
yes.
I was really, really bummed when I couldn't get into the SQL Server Central party.
Yeah.
Found out you had to pay for it up front and I couldn't get in. And,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's horrible. But eventually I got in a couple of years later. But it's so different. I think one of the biggest things that we've seen is, and this is one of the changes that we've seen, is the professionalism of the presentations has shifted radically.
Yeah.
Stuff like Denny's introduction of Speaker Idle and the way it's professionalized so much of what happens there. Yet, every year we've hit approximately the same number of new speakers as a percentage of the overall has been consistently around 40% new every year.
Which is phenomenal. I think that's a great thing. So SQL Saturday is a part of PASS as well.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
When we set that up, when we set that up, in the first year, Andy and I had talked about it, and there was one in Orlando, and then we got, I think, one in Jacksonville and one in Portland.
Right.
And we started to go, and we wondered, would we actually ever get 10 a year? Would we get one a month?
Sure.
Right. And then we worried about, would we have enough speakers to actually submit and go?
Right. Sure.
And it's been phenomenal in the last 10 years of how many people have kind of engaged and started to speak.
And it's 3 and 4 SQL Saturday events going on every Saturday.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's been a SQL Saturday on every day of the week.
Has it really?
Yes, every day of the week has had a SQL Saturday.
That's
so it's
incredible.
not just SQL Saturday, it's a SQL day.
Yeah, I know we've had some Fridays, and I think we've hit, I don't know how many countries, but a tremendous number of countries around the world.
A lot.
Right?
Most of them, I think, but not all of them. Not yet. We're working on it.
We haven't hit all the states
We
yet,
haven't even
actually.
hit all the states either. Yeah.
We're working on that.
Vermont is the one we're missing?
We're missing Wyoming. We're missing.
Oh, okay.
I think Arkansas hasn't. Has Arkansas? There's a couple of strange ones I think.
I grew up in Oklahoma.
Alaska hasn't either. So there's a few to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we got a couple. We'll get to them. But also the fact that PASS has become a worldwide organization. It was very much U.S. centric, but now it's global.
It's global, and it's also, I think one of the neat things I see, whether you like it or not, but the virtual group growth and all the events you're running, right? We've got multiple 24 hours of PASS and different marathons.
In different languages.
In different languages, but there's this
Russian,
engagement
French,
on a monthly basis that didn't exist in 1999.
Right.
Right, where most people just came to the summit once a year. And we saw all our friends, and we had some drinks and had coffee and hugged and all this stuff. But we wouldn't see them again for another year, and there wasn't a lot of engagement from PASS early on. But now I feel like there's some kind of event, even outside of SQL Saturday, every month.
Sure, something somewhere is going on that's PASS related almost every day, probably.
Which is kind of incredible, right? We built this huge community, and I think that's one thing I love about Redgate, that we support the community so well.
I was just going to get to that, because Redgate's been right there at the beginning. I mean, I don't know if they were a sponsor for the first one, but they've been, ever since I've been going, they've been a sponsor.
It's been a long time. Interestingly enough, Redgate was actually my first customer at SQL Server Central.
Oh, right.
So they were the first company that bought advertising from us back in 2001. And I think at 2002 we had the summit, and I met Simon for the first time.
Okay.
So they've been a sponsor most time. But it's amazing to me with Redgate that we continue to sponsor so many groups. We sponsor user groups, sponsor conferences. We do all this work to help people in the community. And certainly SQL Server Central and SimpleTalk are tremendous resources as well that we give you for free. Just like PASS has given you so much of this for free. So when you joined PASS,
oh sure,
was there the membership fee still when you were there?
No.
So early on,
I joined, but when I joined, you were not allowed to vote unless you'd gone to Summit.
Right. And so early on, you had to pay to join PASS, and then if you went to the Summit, I think they gave you a year membership.
Right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
But that's gone away, and so PASS also not free, right? I mean, the Summit and sponsors and other things pay for it, but to you,
right, to the community, it's free.
Resource.
Yeah.
Right? And I think when we look at the data platform community, it's much different than some of the other communities.
It's, I mean, I'll put it back on Kevin Klein. All credit to him. And he explained it to me once, was when they first were organizing that very first event that you went to, they were saying, well, there's these other big events, all of which are gone now, by the way.
Yeah, not many events from back then.
How can we compete with these places? And he was like, look, we can't compete with them on size, and we can't compete with them on money, and we can't compete with them in other places. So we're going to be aggressively friendly.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to compete with them. And he established, and the other organizers with him, Kaylin and others, established that idea of aggressive friendliness, and
it's worked.
I think it's worked. I mean, not just talking about PASS. I mean, SQL Conference,
Data Grilling.
Data Grilling.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these different events. I mean, they're all over the place. And they've all modeled themselves off of that initial thing of aggressive friendliness, of supporting one another, sharing the knowledge.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the more we share, it's a rising tide lifts all boats. And the smarter we get at all this technology stuff, and the more we share it, then just the better we all get.
Yeah, I mean, that was always our goal at SQL Server Central, right? It's just that we'd been successful in our careers, and our goal was to always help you get better. As speakers, that's our goal, right?
Oh, yeah.
We are just trying to help you get better. It's less about us, and it's more about sharing with you. And certainly at Redgate, we do that, right? We give you a ton of information. Some of it's on our products, obviously, but a ton of information not about our products that just help you become better at your job. I
mean, it's our goal. Every time we do one of these events is not simply to show off a Redgate product. We want to show you the tools, but we try to teach you something.
Exactly, right? I mean, and we argue about that all the time, right?
Yeah.
We're in marketing, but we argue
in marketing.
People about, we have to teach something besides the products as well. And I hope you think that we do that. Granted, we're not doing that today, at least I'm not. Today was just for fun.
Well, this is
just for fun.
This is just for fun.
But there are some sessions coming up and some people that will give you some other more technical information as well as show you some of the Redgate products and things out as well there.
Right. I think that was our last slide.
Yeah, that's it. So SQL Compare. So before the team comes in and they do things, we just have a minute or so left. Early memories of SQL Compare, when did you use it? What do you think?
I started using it 20 years ago.
Did you?
Yes, I really did.
Yeah.
I've been using it pretty much nonstop. The one thing I remember about it the most, and it made me in love with Redgate ever since, was I started using the tool and I hit a bug, as one does. I mean, it just happens, right? Nobody's perfect. And I contacted Redgate, and I got an email the next day with an attachment, said, try this.
Oh.
And sure enough, it fixed my bug.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I was blown away. I mean, that was like I fell in love with Redgate, and I sold it to 4 companies before I got hired.
So actually, my quick story. Andy Warren had started using SQL Compare for his job, and he loved it, and that was one of the reasons we contacted Redgate for advertising. But we were chatting on the phone, talking about it. He's like, "You got to try this tool. It's amazing. It'll tell you what things are different with your database." My response was, "How can you not know what things are different in your database?" I was like, I was always in control. Like, no developers put objects in my database I don't know about, so I never worried about it.
I'm happy for you, because that wasn't my experience.
There are a few people like me, right? So most of you need SQL Compare. So right in just a couple minutes, we'll be back, and the team will talk to you about how things have changed in 20 years.